In the early days back, and I think it was about 1864 when the first sheep turned up here, and it was a war over water. There's a whole aspect of what we do with training. It's just not about giving them jobs. It's about them learning who they are and what their relationships are with their relations, and finding their relations so they can get back to country themselves and give themselves an identity. Mate, I'm Colin Saltmere. I'm from Camwell, Yindyalunya country, and I am the Managing Director of my humour Proprietary Limited, which is a civil mining training company, and the manager of Yindyalunya Aboriginal Corporation, which looks after all our land, native title, cultural heritage of our country. So there was always ongoing conflict about access to water, and that conflict continued right through until the early 1900s. And basically along the Georgina and places to the north, complete tribes were annihilated because of the pastoral industry, So it's been an ongoing thing. It's still fresh in people's minds, and where the water was the main places where people gathered. This river system will tell you that the artefacts are here and all the dreaming sites that are here, so it was the main place. There were strict rules applied about trade and about who you dealt with and how you got your stuff and the ceremonies that they partake in. You had so many different tribes going down the river that it kept a balance, within society. That's the best rock to get, that one there. That's a perfect rock. I've been kind of poking around country for, God knows how long, since we were kids. The glue is a spinifex wax. And I've picked up the trade from some old fellas from Lake Nash, where my father comes from. They started me off on tool making, and I've been continuing that now for the last 12 years or so. The Georgina River is kind of one of the big sources of rock, especially the rock that we use, ribbon stone. It's like glass, some of it, and it's some of the best stone tools you can make. So it's been a long time passion of mine, and probably broken up over a couple of tonnes of rock, just learning. It's just not about work. Obviously a lot of them come here because of it, because they're tied up with companies. But it's the other side of it where they've lost some of that identity, younger people, and we try and work with their parents and their mob to give them that cultural identity. It's not about infrastructure, it's about people. You can build all the infrastructure you want, but you're only building it for people. When you run into a trainee in the shopping mall and they've got a full-time job and they're out there buying their own gear with their own money, and all their kids are there, and they come up and say good day to you and say thank you for what you've done. That's the high spot. If you went back 30 years, there used to be camps full of Indigenous stockmen, I even myself as as a head stockman years ago, I'd be the first into town to grab the best stockmen, because they like a really good mechanic now in the mining industry, or a good worker, they poach them, and that's how it was with the pastoral industry. But you don't see that anymore, but you do see mining companies giving Indigenous people an opportunity, and I think it's an opportunity we shouldn't turn our backs on, because if we do that, then we'll be living in poverty for the rest of our lives. We have to create a balance, and there is a way of doing it with government, industry and the Aboriginal people and the environmentalists. Well, wisdom is taught to you by other people being silly. If you're not silly, you learn from other people who are, and then you make those wise choices,